Hello, fellow Arcana readers. First of all, I just wanted to thank everybody who was able to make it in person to our class last Wednesday, and specifically thank you to Tom and Rachel for hosting us in your home. One of the things I'm going to be experimenting with is using little videos like this one to introduce upcoming readings and to review readings that we just had. I'm hoping that this will allow more people to benefit from classes like this. And I'm also hoping that this will help people stay engaged with the readings a little bit more. I might use these videos to help remind us of some of the key points that came up in the readings. I also might use these videos to comment further on a point or question that came up during a class. At other times, I might use these videos to share some other resources that I think might be relevant or of interest. So the reading we discussed this last Wednesday was Arcana Coelestia 73 through 106, where we introduced the spiritual meaning of the seventh day of rest and the Garden of Eden. One of the general themes in this reading involved becoming a celestial person. In its spiritual sense, we learned that the creation story found in Genesis chapter 1 is all about how the Lord is working to help us become spiritual people. While the second chapter of Genesis, which deals with the seventh day of rest and the Garden of Eden, is all about how the Lord forms us into celestial people. So part of our conversation on Wednesday revolved around what it means to be a celestial person as opposed to a merely spiritual person. And there were three distinctions that came up in the reading that I thought were particularly interesting. Number one, while a spiritual person acts more from a principle of faith, a celestial person acts more from a principle of love. All right, that's number one. Number two, very much related to this, more so than a spiritual person, a celestial person loves the Lord above all things. A celestial person perceives, we were taught very, very clearly, that all things good and true come from the Lord alone. And so a celestial person loves nothing more than to be led by the Lord. And number three, a celestial person has gotten to a point where their external self obeys or completely serves their more internal self. And because of this, the reading said that a celestial person is in a state of rest or peace. So again, this reading introduces this idea that after working to help us to become spiritual people, the Lord then moves on to help us become celestial people. You might want to reread these passages and reflect on these things a little bit more. How is the Lord calling you to become a celestial person? Not just a spiritual person, a celestial person. And what does that look like in your life? Please feel free to call me or email me with any questions you might have. I'd love to hear about any insights that you might have about this reading. And also, if you would like, you can make comments or ask questions about this reading on our Facebook page. I've posted this video there, and yeah, you can just add a comment or question there, and I will respond to you probably within an hour or two. So our next class will be on Wednesday, January 27th at the home of Chris and Joan Lynch. And the reading for that class next Wednesday will be Arcana Coelestia 107 to 130. We'll be talking there about the meaning of the rivers that were found in the Garden of Eden, and also why Adam and Eve were told that they could eat of every tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So enjoy those readings, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and talking with you about them next week.